All righty then. Are you ready, Jael? It's 7:35.
I stay ready.
Oh, well, here we go. There she is. Well, welcome everyone and good evening. We are delighted that you all joined us, and we don't take that for granted and we don't take it lightly. For those of you that we have not had the pleasure of meeting or talking to individually, I am Stacy, and that is my daughter Jael Thomas. We're co-founders of Eminent Estates. We consider ourselves to be connectors of the community. We enjoy working with investors, especially new ones, and agents, helping them understand creative financing. We utilize creative options just as a tool in our tool belt because what we know and understand is that it won't fit every scenario. Although sometimes I think people try to squeeze it in for everything, it's just not a good fit for every, real estate scenario. So we want to make sure that you're crystal clear about that. We want to talk, first of all, about the basic foundation for what we do in real estate. And first and foremost, you have to have an abundance mindset, definitely not a scarcity mindset in order to be successful in this industry and really any industry. But I found that when Jael and I shifted our mindset, we did a lot of soul searching, we did a lot of research, we got in rooms with like-minded individuals that had an abundance mindset. That's when the shift occurred for us because really, this is not for the faint of heart. You're going to have to grind. You're going to go through some challenges. This is not HGTV. I'm sorry to tell you guys that are not familiar with it, but this is real life. And you are going to have some challenges. You're going to have good days and bad days. It's ebbs and flows. So we're going to keep it real here and be very transparent and let you know what our challenges are, but also what our wins are, because we should definitely celebrate those. So the first question that I want to ask, because in this particular format, we want you guys to be interactive. It's not going to be the same format every first Monday of the month because we want to know who our audience is. So, with that said, I want to know who doesn't know much about creative financing. You can put it in the chat or you can raise your hand
Oh, wait.
or you can unmute. Just let
And
us
I
know.
saw Brandy and Dominique unmute.
Oh,
You guys, this is
Yeah,
family. Don't be
unmute.
shy.
Let's keep it, let's
uh,
not be
me,
formal.
I don't know much.
Dominique, okay, Dominique, and I met Dominique at the Bigger Pockets conference this year.
Yeah, sure did.
Yes.
Want to learn something.
Yes, and we're gonna help you, sis. Jen, Rod.
Hey, yeah, I won't say we're totally ignorant to it because we've done a lot of seller finance, which does fall under the creative finance
Yes.
umbrella, right? But it has so many aspects to it, and we would like to learn more of them to put more in our tool belt. So for us, we really want to understand sub two.
Mm-hmm.
That's an area that we've sort of shied away from over these 30 years that we've been investing. We've just been like, oh, we don't understand that. So we want to get smart with that. I mean, you can be doing this business for 50 years and not know all of it, right? There's always a creative way to do it.
Yes.
And so I think we just don't have enough understanding of enough creative finance tools. We can't, we don't want to be a one trick pony when it comes to creative financing. So, we know one thing, but we want to know more.
Excellent. Excellent. Love that. Anybody else?
I think for me, I have a good understanding of sub two seller finance. I think novations is the one that I think I would fit me very well to understand better so I can make that an exit plan for me too.
Awesome. And we can touch on that for sure, Brandy.
Okay.
And Brandy, would you happen to be a realtor?
I am not a realtor.
Okay, I was just asking because I it was a few Brandies on the list. So I just wanted to make sure because novations can work really well for agents too if you guys are on this call.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll cover it, Brandy.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Anybody else want to say anything before we move on? Because what we want to focus on definitely to kick this off, we're definitely going to talk about subject two, and we're going to talk about seller financing. Those are going to be our top two first. But since Brandy also brought up novation, we don't have a problem touching on that. So let's kick it off and let's talk about who knows what subject two is. Well, I saw one hand from Jen. Welcome, Dave.
Hey,
Hey, how are you, brother? Yeah,
okay.
we know that. So, Dominique, are you familiar with subject two?
What I saw in the videos a little bit, what you should share with me the YouTube videos.
Yes.
I'm but like I said, I really I'm still really don't really know how to initiate it. Like I
Yes.
have a basic understanding of what it is, but
Okay.
not really how to get to that point to actually do it.
Okay. So we're going to just give you a basic definition of it. Jael and I have done several subject to deals. Jael is, since she's, a licensed agent, she's a unicorn agent in our community of sub two with Pace Morby. I like for her to definitely expand on that since she's the one that's writing the contracts. Now, I can be the visionary and help find the deals and pump the people up, but when it comes to negotiating it and writing up the deals, that is definitely her lane, guys. So you'll be hearing, she'll be providing a lot of the education. I'm just going to kick off what we're going to talk about. So, first and foremost, a basic understanding, well, definition of subject to that our coach and mentor Pace uses all the time is subject to the existing mortgage. Basically, in plain English, taking over someone else's mortgage. Okay? That's exactly what you can write down in your notes. And then I'm going to let Jael take it from here. But I want you guys to know that when we do have conversations with Pace, he typically asks people in the audience, has anybody purchased a new home or an investment property recently, traditionally? And of course, the folks will say, well, I have. He said, what was your interest rate? And you guys know what the interest rate is now, right? And it's been even higher. So then he tells them, on average, when we purchase our subject to properties, the average interest rate is 2.8%. Ron's like, what is 2.8%? And we are targeting, yeah, and we're targeting folks that have purchased it 3, 4, 5 years ago, low equity. They are really have a high motivation to get out of the property. So from there, I'm going to let Jael take it over and possibly give us, in-depth information about it, maybe some examples. So go for it, Jai. The floor is yours.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for being here this evening after a long day of work, snow, cold, all of those things. So, again, we appreciate you guys. I always like to start with the environment of the market that we're in right now and explaining why creative finance is so, so important, especially right now. The traditional path is a way to gatekeep. Let's just call it what it is. People who don't have perfect credit, people who don't have consistent W 2 income. I know so many business owners right now that are cash heavy that could not qualify for a loan if they wanted to with 100 grand in the bank. We also are, gatekeeping people who may not have that 100,000 in the bank, a large down payment to put down on the loan. And there are very specific rules and tax returns and all of the things that you need to qualify to become an investor. But what creative finance is saying is that that does not apply. And that someone who has good intentions and wants to help people and wants to solve problems can now have an opportunity to own property. So, a lot of things that people misidentify when it comes to subject to and creative finance is that when I say that I am taking over that person's mortgage, they think that I mean I'm going to assume it. I am not. I am going to take over their mortgage payments. How many of you guys own a car on this call? Pretty much everybody, right? Or has experienced having to go through that process. I think the best way for you to think about subject to is thinking about how you own your car, but you probably got it financed by the dealership. Two different things. As long as you make those payments to the dealership, you still own the car. So when I'm talking about subject to and ownership, I'm basically telling someone that may be some sort of financial distress that can't make those payments and saying, hey, I need help. But if I try to go through the banks or a traditional way, I'm going to lose. I need another option where I can win. And maybe you as an investor can win. And what we're going to do when it comes to subject to is find someone that needs help. Catch up maybe some behind payments, just like if you were behind on your car payment and they haven't repoed it yet. You in that middle phase, right? That's pre-foreclosure. That's when you've missed some payments, but you haven't got to the point where they said, we are giving up and we want to take it back. So that's where the opportunity lies, that window of uncertainty. And how many of us have missed a payment or have been behind on something? That's a scary feeling, especially if that mode of transportation is your only way to make money and get to work. So that's the kind of opportunities we're identifying, helping people with. I get those payments. I'm going to catch them up for that person. But I want to leave that financing in their name because, again, they have a great interest rate that they got from the mortgage company or that car dealership. Because maybe when they first got that loan, they had a phenomenal credit score. And maybe you as an investor, you don't have a great credit score right now. But you can help this person out of this situation. So we are going to go through a title company. We're going to go through all of the ways that you buy a property traditionally through the county, checking to make sure nobody else owns the property but the person that you're dealing with. You're going to get that ownership transferred to you, but you're going to leave the financing in the previous owner's name. I'm not assuming their loan. I'm not calling their mortgage company and asking if it's okay. I'm helping someone out of a difficult situation. And in return for me making their payments on time every single month to help them improve their credit, I'm going to take ownership of that property. Now that property is deeded to Jael Thomas, but that mortgage is still in Sarah McCloskey's name. Where did I get McCloskey from, y'all? I made it up. That's it. I made it up. But I hope that my girl Melissa's here. She's so funny. I hope that analogy and you guys think about the way that you financed your vehicle if you had to finance it makes subject to simpler to understand the concept. We use credit cards all the time. That's the bank's money. But whatever we swipe for, we own it. That's subject to, guys. Any questions about that?
Yeah, I was going to say, let's pause for questions. This is a great time to do that. And remember, we want to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly because we have some examples for sure. All right. Jen, Rod.
I might be jumping ahead of where Jael is going to go with this in the end, but I think conceptually we understand it, but we're trying to figure out the best time to jump in, right? Because there's this whole pre-foreclosure process. They miss a payment, there's a process, and then after they miss X amount of payment, there's another process and so forth. And then it gets to the point where, hey, it's too late, you can't save this person, or unless you get really, really good at this, you can jump in at the last minute and rescue them or whatever. So we would like to gain more understanding of when is the best time to jump in. And then in addition to that, where have you found the best place to get these leads on these people that need the help? Those are our two hurdles right now. And I guess you just have to do it, right? Because the more you do something, the better you get at it. So that's just kind of where we are.
Jen, I love these questions. And it basically is hopefully helping everybody see that before you jump into anything, you need a strategy. That is the question. What strategy, what avenues, what identicators am I looking for to say, ooh, this might be a good one? So basically, with this, and to answer your first question, Jen, if you know or you've got identified a list where people have gotten a notice for pre-foreclosure, the sooner you get to them, the better. Why is that, guys? Because they're getting bombarded with phone calls, texts, mailers, door knocks, and it's unbearable and it's nonstop. If they live in a high appreciation area, they have realtors knocking on their door as well. So
Yeah.
this person is feeling scared. They're feeling overwhelmed. And if they're not in real estate, they feel lost. So every time that we're dealing with a situation that has to do with pre-foreclosure and subject to both, we treat it very, very delicately because we're thinking in the mind of that person. Now, the easiest and fastest way to identify these opportunities is from warm referrals. Why is that? There is a lot of trust that is involved in this process. They're going to sign documents and have to understand terminology and jargon that they're probably only going to want to hear from someone that they know, like, and trust. The easiest way to get your first deal is to tell everybody what you're doing and let them know that you can help them. Because I guarantee you, with the amount of foreclosures happening in the US across single family and multifamily, probably 1 out of every 10 people has something going on that they need our help with. So if we are not opening our mouths, we are doing our community a disservice. Even if you don't know everything or how to do it, the fact that you know people that know how means you know how. And that's, I think, why my mom and I are so adamant of hosting these Zooms and making sure that people can come and get their questions answered and to connect investors and realtors, because together we are a force to be reckoned with. People who don't trust or know an investor, they trust an agent because of a license, but that agent may not know how to get them out of this kind of situation. They need to lean on their investor partner. But if we're not reaching out to enough agents and telling them about this and how we can help them close more deals, that's where we lose it. But other great resources outside of warm referrals, y'all, is divorce, death and probate, job loss, relocation, especially for our folks with VA loans, because they have to go. They can't wait to the property sales, and sometimes they're holding 2 mortgages. Anybody that bought in 2021, scroll down on Zillow, see when them jokers bought the house. They got a 2% interest rate. Burnt out landlords, inherited properties, especially people who inherit homes that are in another state. So that's
Mhm.
inherited plus absentee owner. And then people who have low equity. Now, what do I mean by low equity? And I don't want to lose anybody if I'm going too fast or too over the mark of where we are. But basically, low equity means that whatever your underlying mortgage is, if you went to sell that property, you have a very small margin of what you'll walk away with. So for low equity deals, you don't have a lot of buyers for those, but if you plan to keep the property for yourself, then the numbers could work. But most people with no equity need our help the most. But if you're a new investor, I do not recommend buying no equity deals. You can get yourself in a lot of trouble and you can hurt the person that you're supposed to be helping if you can't keep up with those payments. So here at Eminent Estates, we are investors with integrity. If we can't keep our word, we don't do the deal. Sometimes you got to go out of your way to keep your word. That's the hard times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does anybody have any comments or questions before we go deeper into creative?
Yeah,
Um,
I have a question, but you're probably gonna get there. I have a a friend that has a house that is in foreclosure. Actually, it's my neighbor. And we've talked to her several times. It's just in denial and denial. Now it's gone to auction. So I don't know what we can do for that. So maybe it's maybe a conversation we can have later. But I know she's an auction, but she would just deny all the time. And I could have helped her 6 months ago.
Yes. Carol, this was great that you brought it up. I think that if we are able to tell more people that once they go to auction, it's too late,
Hmm.
they will take more action. And then sometimes, guys, people that know us can't receive it from us.
Yeah.
So maybe you want to just have an outside investor that you know act like they're reaching out to her separately.
Yeah.
But sometimes when we try to explain creative, we create a wall.
Yeah. That's what it is. And sometimes it's just pride.
Yes.
Mm.
Oh my gosh, Carol. I think that's also important what we do as investors, y'all. We had one seller that was just gonna let it go because of the embarrassment. So we tell them we don't have to put a sign in the yard. We can
Right.
sell this without anyone knowing. But identifying, like you said, Carol, what is it that was blocking her? And then
Mhm.
overcoming that objection is what's gonna win the deal every time. And trust me, we lost a lot trying to figure that out because people in foreclosure have different quirks about why they want to do it or not.
Yeah.
But it comes from talking to a lot of people in pre-foreclosure.
Yeah. This one really hurts because I've known her for more than 20 years and I don't know what happened, but we could
Yeah,
talk about it offline.
yeah, for sure, Carol. That's a really I
Mm.
think I'm glad you brought it up because guys, you have to explain to people. Sometimes they say, "Well, I have an agent." That
Yeah.
agent doesn't have experience with short sales or wholesaling or a way to get that property off the
Yeah.
books in time. That person can be in big trouble, whether the agent is licensed or not. They just think they can trust them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It's so sad.
Yeah, that's really sad.
Mm.
There is one thing that she may want to see. I think, Mom, what is it called? Surplus excess funds. If you get foreclosed on, and there's sometimes they actually get a check at the end, but they have to go back to the county and check.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
would tell her to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Surplus fund.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. She has a she has a whole lot she had about 85% equity in it, so I don't understand why she shouldn't just do so.
She definitely got some surplus funds. You better
Oh
tell her
yeah.
to collect. And
They
Carol,
probably
you
did.
deserve a
You live,
percentage.
yeah.
They probably had
We'll
excess
we'll
funds.
help
They
you,
would have done
Carol,
it in
offline.
Anytime
personal.
somebody
Yeah.
loses a house with that much equity, it hurts.
Yeah,
Yes.
we live in Montgomery County, so you know.
Woo, girl. Yeah, because it goes to the county. And
Hmm.
Yeah.
and
Yeah, 20 years. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
All right, Carol, we'll talk and see if we can get her at least that excess check.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Carol. I just want to say too that we've helped a lot of people, and you never know how they're going to respond when they get in situations like this.
Hmm.
Who's going to be able to really get through to them or not? Some
Hmm.
people just freeze, they can't do
Yeah.
anything. I'm telling you
It's
guys,
just
Hmm.
you never know.
We
And
had
we,
Yeah, we actually helped one guy. He did the opposite. So he responded to every letter, every call, every mailer. We had one seller that was actually shopping around people's offers and still negotiating the day before he actually was going to foreclosure and got the deal done. So he had everybody fooled thinking that, he needed all of this help and we were the only offer. And the whole time he was a savvy negotiator. And then one guy actually started applying for jobs higher than the position he already had. And about 2 or 3 weeks into the short sale process, he got a higher government ranking position than his original one and saved and stopped his foreclosure.
yes.
So
So, and Jael, I think we've stopped it. Was it 24 hours
I've done one as much as an hour before,
before?
but
Yeah.
Wow.
sometimes it doesn't work depending on the county, the trustee, and the attorney. And
Yeah.
yeah.
then it also is helpful that you're already working with them because a lot of people don't know it takes 2 to 3 weeks to get an extension or a short sale approved. Usually, short sales can take 30 days after getting a valid
Yeah.
offer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to add something. I'm going to kind of go back to something that Carol said about her neighbor. I'm
Mhm.
not on mute, am I? No.
Nope.
So Rod and I have been through it before. Back in 2008, we went through a foreclosure, and I'm telling you, as homeowners, it was embarrassing. It was hard. We didn't know anything about any surplus. Had someone reached out to us, like Stacy and Jael, and said, "Hey, let us tell you what your options are, and we can kind of walk through this," we probably would have welcomed that because all we got were phone calls from, the mortgage company, from creditors. It was so overwhelming. We were trying to sell I mean, it was a hot mess. And the last thing we wanted was somebody knocking on our door, putting stickers on the door. It was embarrassing. And so going into this side of real estate, now that we've recovered from all that or whatever, and now being the person that's reaching out to someone going into foreclosure, we're way more sensitive about it. You know, we have that level of sensitivity knowing, and we had children. Our kids were small. They had no idea what was going on. So we're trying to keep them happy, trying to keep the family together, losing our house, we had to move into one of our investment properties. Thank God we had that. But it was crazy. So I can only imagine what that person is feeling on the other side of this transaction. But if somebody had said, let me come in there and show you what you guys can do and how I can help you, we probably would have welcomed that phone call because nobody else was trying. They were like, we're gonna come and take your kids' toys if
Right.
you don't. No, and that is not an exaggeration. We literally had a creditor call us and say, we're gonna come and take your kids' toys if you don't pay us. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that she brought that up because I think that's something that as investors we need to be mindful of, that these are people,
Yes.
on the other side of these transactions that we can reach out to.
I'm gonna try one more time tomorrow
Yeah.
because she got a 9-year-old son, and I see people coming up and down the street stopping to take pictures, and I'm like,
The
Yeah.
bank has
Wow.
now hired someone, the
yeah,
BPO,
The BPO.
they need a
yeah,
price opinion now. And
yeah.
Yeah.
that people can
Yeah,
really
unless this property is likely to go to auction, but it's
Yeah.
down there,
let's
so
see,
Crazy.
Carol. If
Yeah.
it hasn't fully gone to auction, there's always still a way. So
Yeah.
let's talk about it. But you
um,
guys are actually, I'm glad you brought it up because a lot of times now people have to watch out because folks are saying, I'm going to charge you to help you get a loan modification. If this
Yeah.
person isn't employed, I already know they're not going to get a loan modification. So the fact they're just
Yeah.
soliciting people for money, and
Yeah.
I think with all of the calls and craziness, it kind of waters down people like us that come in and they're like, you just like everybody else, but
Yeah.
we're not.
Yeah.
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 It's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I think compassion is the word.
Mhm.
People seem to know the difference when we've made some calls. I mean, because we got a list, so we've got people in our market, and we've called. And I actually talked to two people.
Mhm.
And one gentleman he did answer. I called him a number of times when he answered, but I was very nice about it. I told him, I said, hey, I've been there, been through it. And we got into a little conversation, but he told me he was able to save it. He was able to get the money. So he
That's
said,
how we do it,
yeah,
Ron.
yeah. So
Mhm.
he said it was out. I told him, hey, that was wonderful. Keep our number. If something changes, you decide you want to sell. I mean, we're brokers as well. I mean, if you do want to sell later, anything else, call us. So it was nice to talk. So out of all those calls, I did make a couple of connects. The other folks are just letting it go to voicemail, which you kind of understand. I mean, a lot of people don't want to answer. They're probably getting 20 calls an hour, especially,
Yes.
Mhm.
especially if they got equity.
Yeah.
And Ron
Yes.
and Jen, you guys are going
Yeah.
to go in saying, we understand because we've been in your shoes. The people that,
Right.
if you want to see a wall come down and their
Yes,
guards
Yeah.
ma'am.
come down, it's
Yeah.
because now they know you can really relate.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
And
that,
Rod said something else. They can hear the compassion in your voice
yeah,
because
Mhm.
we've
Yeah.
had people say, I've forgotten 1,000 calls, but something said I should talk to y'all.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
They know.
Wow.
They
Yeah,
know.
Wow.
they do. They
Wow.
do.
Yeah.
And Jael, I want to bring up something else, just like for Dominique, who's still, she's an investor and she's done a lot of traditional deals, but she's still learning the creative side. So if she doesn't have a list of pre-foreclosures, we're still, what else can you recommend?
Yes. So I made a section just for Dominique because I
Oh,
was told that people with no real estate experience would be here.
mhm.
So this is for you. Stop looking for deals, start looking for problems.
Mhm.
Everywhere we turn, somebody has a problem that
True.
needs to be solved.
Yeah.
And what do we know? Everybody has or needs somewhere to live, meaning that everybody is a lead.
Mhm.
So you don't need real estate experience to be a human with compassion and to listen to what other people's problems are. I guarantee you'll find an opportunity in that. You don't need to know about the numbers. You don't need to know about the property situation. It doesn't have to be a sure thing. All you're doing is listening and gathering information. So
Mhm.
the second part was listen more than you analyze. Hearing things like, I'm just tired of this place. I don't know what to do next.
Mhm.
I can't keep up anymore. I
Mhm.
don't need top dollar. I need relief. Ooh, that
Yeah.
sounds like somebody
That's
that
a
got
good
some
one.
pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, when you hear that, Dominique, with no real estate experience, here's my line. you know what? I feel for you, and it's really, really difficult right now. I actually have a team of people that specialize in helping people through situations like this. Would you be open to me making that connection for you?
Yeah, because
Yes.
I was actually trying to do a deal recently, um, for myself to
Mhm.
just get a house, but I was trying to do a loan assumption, and it was like the realtor, nobody knew what I was like. I was like, this is a real thing. Like
Yeah.
that is real. You can do a loan assumption, and because I wanted to buy a house, I didn't want that high interest rate, and I was like, well, you know, let's see if the seller will be open to doing a loan assumption. And my real estate agent, everybody, the lender, everybody was acting as if I said something foreign. And I'm like,
Okay.
this is a real, loan assumptions are real. We just need to find out if the bank will allow it. So that was to me like a creative deal, but no one seemed to want to, or maybe because I didn't know, but they were like, well, it was just like nobody even wanted to even hear the conversation.
Yes. So loan assumptions, a lot of realtors will act like they don't know what it is because the daggone loan assumption takes longer than doing it traditionally. So, Dominique, with a loan assumption, you basically have to go in and qualify for that loan, just like if you needed a fresh loan from the lender. Then the interest rate doesn't even stay the same once you assume the loan, and you have to bring the gap funding. So, if this person has equity and they want X price, now you probably got to bring 120 grand to the table to assume somebody's loan. That's why I wanted to clearly clarify assuming a loan and taking it someone's existing mortgage subject to their interest rate is two different things. Assuming it is basically stepping into their shoes, putting it into your name. Taking it subject to their interest rate and specific mortgage is keeping that loan and using that same loan with their name and their great interest rate. So that's, I think, the clarity. But here's the deal, Dominique. You don't have to worry about any of those things to get your first deal. I don't want you to focus on the cement, like the little stuff, the numbers and the things to see if this works for subject to. Will this be great for seller finance? All you have to do is ask great questions. What's your ideal outcome? What happens if nothing changes? What would make this easier for you? Is timing or money more important right now? We're gathering details that will lead us to figure out if this works for sub two, seller finance, novation, cash, list on the market, short sale.
Mm.
So we cannot diagnose a situation and what it's best for until we know what this person wants to achieve. Because it may work for three or four things. But when they tell me that I'm on a fixed income, I get a Medicaid check, and if I sell this property, I'm going to basically have to get 500,000 in my account, which will stop my check from coming in. Is the property free and clear? Yes, I don't have a mortgage. All of this will be cash, and I'm going to get hit with capital gains. Right there, I'm saying this is a seller finance opportunity. This person wants small payments over time. I'm solving their problem, they're solving mine. So it doesn't matter about the numbers. It doesn't matter about the property. You're looking for a problem, and then we, as doctors, diagnose the solution.
And Dominique, were you trying to say it was a good candidate for subject to or for an assumption?
I was personally, sorry, my mic
That's
was off.
okay.
I was honestly just trying to buy a larger home for
Mhm.
myself as a primary home without getting hit with that interest rate because the house
Mhm.
was like $600,000. I didn't want to take that hit on the interest rate, and but I wanted that house. I wanted that
Mhm.
size house.
Gotcha. Yep.
So I was trying to do a loan assumption to come in with the lower interest rate because that was, make the mortgage payment a lot more, a lot lower, and a lot more affordable
Gotcha.
versus
Yep.
coming on a $600,000 house at a 6% interest rate. So I just decided I'm just gonna stay put because I'm not paying that interest rate. And the size of that house that I would need, would have to be at least 5 or 600,000. Otherwise, I might just stay where I'm at.
Yeah. Well, let me just say this, Dominique. You can, the opportunities that we have, and I know that you're following Pace, our coach and mentor,
Right.
all of his properties and mansions are creative financing. Either they're subject to or they're seller financing. And we can live in mansions from creative financing. He has changed the trajectory of how people even talk about creative financing because people, even title companies, title reps was telling us that it was illegal. And he
Mm.
was like, we've been doing this for hundreds of years. So, Dominique, I know how you are. You analyze, you've already bought a lot of properties traditionally. So, we're going to help you, just like Jael is very high level now, but we're going to help you identify opportunities that would qualify for a subject to or seller financing. It's not going to happen tonight, it doesn't happen overnight.
Just tell us what you're looking for, and when
Yes.
the right deal comes, boom, there it is. This is
Yeah.
Dominique's house.
And then you can learn as we go along and as we continue to have these sessions.
And if you identify a property that has been sitting on the market for some time that looks like it has Dominique's name written all over it, that
Well, I
is
got
where I
one
come in.
I need help with. It's in California though, and
It is?
yes, and I'm trying to get it. And
We'll
let me
help
Okay.
you, Dominique.
Yeah, I
I
can
need
talk to
help
the
with this
agent.
because I have an agent. So if you and I we need to talk offline because I need to get this house.
Okay.
Okay.
I need it.
So, guess what? I think this is a great segue for a short story. I want to highlight Dave and Max. Dave and Max, they have a very busy schedule, so they're off camera right now, but they run a gym for the youth and they're doing big things in their community. They are super busy, but what they are great at is bringing us people that need our service, right? So Dave and Max, they've identified a couple family members that need to buy properties that can't do it traditionally.
Mhm.
They don't know everything. They're brand new to creative finance and real estate, but they're earning while they learn by bringing people. And their uncle actually had an agent already. We are now working with this agent in West Palm Beach and teaching her how to identify the properties that we're talking to approach them for seller finance, and she is now earning while she learns, still can represent us in the deal, but I handle the negotiations.
Mhm.
So now we're empowering the agent. We're empowering new people to real estate to get a deal done. And now we're also empowering business owners, help them get business funding first to buy a property that they wouldn't be able to afford without using creative finance.
Yes.
So shout out to Dave and Max taking
Woo-hoo.
massive action and being able to figure this all out without knowing everything. So,
Yeah.
Dominique, we would love to help you and your agent make that happen, and see what we can do there if it qualifies for a good creative deal.
Okay, well, I need to talk with you guys then, like
Okay.
immediately, 'cause I don't want to lose this deal, and I've been doing all kind of cartwheels trying to get it. Uh,
I love it.
We'll help you. So this is a great time to segue. If nobody else has a question to the seller financing piece, because we just wanted to touch on subject to and seller financing. Now, seller financing means, of course, the seller owns the property free and clear, and they have the opportunity to become the bank. So Pace has taught us to negotiate on four things when we're talking to a seller about seller financing. First is the purchase price. Second is the down payment. Third is the interest rate. And fourth is the length of time. Everybody clear on that? You good? So this is the story he likes to tell everybody. So he talks about people that have an Android. So he'll be like, Stacy, how much would you sell your Android cell phone for on Craigslist? I said, let's say $200. He said, okay. So it's been sitting on Craigslist for over 30 days. And so nobody's shown any interest in it. It's still sitting there. So Pace calls me and says, "Hey, I see that you are selling your cell phone for $200 and it's been over 30 days. I would like to buy it." And of course I say, "Okay, sure." So he was like, I'm good with the price of $200, but I need to make payments over time." And I'm like, so what are you thinking? He said, "How about I give you $20 every month for 10 months and you get your $200." And I was like, "Okay, but that makes sense." So then he goes back and says, so her purchase price was $200. The down payment was 0%. I didn't charge him any interest, so that was 0%. And then he got the 10 months. For some people, when we talk about these terms and we're talking real estate, they are like, this sounds like a scam. But guess what? It has become so easy to say, I can give you your price. We can talk about your price because most people try to talk you down if you give me my terms.
But doesn't T-Mobile and Verizon do this every day?
Every day, all day.
Y'all know y'all ain't
So
paying
do.
$1,000 for that iPhone up front.
Yeah.
So
You buy
anybody,
that 150 down and the rest over time.
all day, every day. So anybody have any questions or comments about seller financing?
I have a comment, if it's okay,
Yeah.
that I'd like to share, because this is something Rod and I've done a lot of. But one of the things that we've sweetened the pot with in our seller finance negotiating is we do offer a little bit of a down payment when we can, right? But the interest rate, we always throw out the lowest interest rate that we think they would accept. But we usually say over the term that we're going to agree to, you're going to end up making more money than you would have had you sold it outright, because you're getting those interest payments. When you add it all up at the end, look, you've made this much more money. And they're like, oh, wow, that's great. So I just wanted to throw that out, that it actually benefits the seller more in the end, I think.
We agree. And
Mhm.
sometimes that is an excellent point, Jen. Thank you so much. Sometimes, like you said, again, we're finding that they're getting a higher price. They're making more money than they
Hmm.
normally would. It's just something that doesn't seem normal.
Right.
You have the
Yeah.
so that's why we get resistance. And I even was going to say before we jumped off the subject to conversation is that people are in the real estate space in the industry are like, oh my God, what if they call the due on sale clause? What are you guys gonna do then? Like we're scared, right? We ain't never scared. Ain't never scared. Pace is ready for that. And actually, Jael and I already had it called on us. And
Really?
our seller died.
Oh, wow.
Our seller passed away. So they
Oh,
were like, hey, what's going on here? They
yeah.
was
He's deceased.
conversation.
How do you still have a mortgage in his name?
Yeah, and so they were, going back
They
and
were
forth.
like, they were
So
like, give us our money.
we were like, do y'all want us to still pay the mortgage or stop? Just let us know.
Right.
We never heard back from the bank
He
again.
said, keep paying it.
See, they want that money.
Unbelievable. Okay,
And
well,
then
Yeah. Well,
And then in our community, we have people that specialize, and if it's called on you, the paper, everything you need to do. So we're just not worried about that. And
yeah.
they
love
want us to
that.
Yeah.
be afraid of it, but Pace has put things in place, and more than likely, the bank is not in the business to
They
accumulate
want
real
they want
estate,
their payment.
right?
They want their money. They
They
want their
just
payment.
want their money.
That's what they want. And as long as you're paying,
Yeah.
Listen,
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
And they said at lower interest rates, the lenders have better margins. So they don't want to call it and give you a high interest rate loan because they lose money, the loan
Wow.
officer.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you got to
Um,
stay on top of it. We heard
Yeah.
Rocket Mortgage was buying a lot of the mortgage up companies or whatever. So
Yeah.
they may get, they're hearing this subject to a lot. And so they want to do something about it, which is, like as we stated before, has been around for several years. And
Yeah.
then we tell our clients, and I wanted to mention this to you guys, the benefit of us taking over their mortgage and it staying in their name, We've had to catch you up from your arrears, which you were behind on your mortgage, first and foremost. We
Right,
have a third party servicer that makes sure your mortgage is paid on time every month. So now we're building your credit back up. And the
right,
thing that was really important to me is that Pace was like, well, when they want to even go possibly after they get reestablished and back on their feet, go purchase another property possibly, and that debt to income ratio comes up, well, they can come to us and we can write a letter stating that we are responsible for that particular mortgage. So he's given us everything we could possibly need to
right.
still help the person that, had to leave the property and with us having to take it over.
I love that. And Stacey, thanks for bringing that up. I'm sorry, Rod. You wanted to make a comment?
Yeah, no, I had a question for you. Have you guys had any, and doing these ones that you've taken over, have they sold the mortgage to another mortgage company? Have you
Yeah.
bounced into that? Okay.
Mhm.
And because we get that on some of our some of our
Investment.
portfolio investment property, we'll just get a letter out of the blue, hey, we sold it to Select, or we sold it to
Yeah.
they
Mr.
don't
Cooper.
they don't
Mr. Cooper was
Mr.
like,
Cooper,
who is Mr.
Mr.
Cooper?
Cooper,
Mr.
and it's one other one that be buying up all the mortgage.
How did Mr. Cooper get up in here anyway? We've been asking, who is Mr. Cooper? He just rolled it. I
We
remember the
thought
TV
one of
show.
our clients was lying when we were like, "Who's your
No,
mortgage company?" And she was like, "Mr.
we
Cooper." We was like,
we
Yeah.
we thought so too. We were like, Mr. Cooper, there's no Mr. Cooper. Somebody scammed you.
My clients that I have to buy a house, she was like, well, yeah, our mortgage is with Mr. Cooper.
We're like, somebody
I was
scammed
like,
you.
oh my God, she's been scammed. I have no idea who Mr.
We
Cooper.
thought the same. We thought the same. So
But
yeah.
yeah, we've had that, and one challenge we have with that is they don't always transfer the escrow properly. They don't handle the escrow. So we're over here now working out insurance and they're calling us. So we've had that a few times, but
It's
that's
fixable.
yeah, it's fixable. It just takes a little work, but I was curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we even have insurance companies that work with properties that we take over subject to, because we kind of like to leave the existing insurance in place.
Yeah.
We don't like any red flags, but we
Yeah.
steadily, comes in and they have insurance on top of that. So, I
Yeah.
mean, Pace has created a win-win. And once learn all the ins and out of it, it is
Yeah.
so easy to
Excellent.
That's
do.
awesome.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Any other questions or comments? This has been really great discussion, guys.
Mhm.
Okay, so we covered the two topics that we
Uh,
want.
but we
Okay.
got some quiet people on here, y'all. So I feel like Rod and Jen, y'all have really, really pushed this conversation along because of the phenomenal questions. I'm gonna need all of y'all to come back every Monday with questions because it's helpful
Yeah.
and
Oh,
it
I got questions.
actually it helps other
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
learn
Of
things that
course it
we may
does.
not have covered, So
Mhm.
thank
Yeah.
y'all so
Yeah.
much.
No,
Yeah.
I
absolutely.
do before we take 80 tune, I have a question for you guys, or we can take him first. But if someone or you came to you and had a property in a problem, do you know what to say? Even though you don't know anything, do you know what to say? I think it's important that we leave the call with actionable steps for you to get your
Mhm.
first deal if you
Yeah.
haven't
Mhm.
got your deal yet. So, Mom,
Mhm.
do we want to take our question and then come
Yeah,
back
take
to
the
that?
question first, please. Take
Okay.
the question first. You said,
Um, yep, go
Hello.
ahead.
Good evening. How
Hi.
you doing? Good to see you all. Sorry, I'm not in a good place. Um, I had a question. There is this property that's been on the market since maybe September,
Mhm.
right next to my church. It's a duplex. It's in Prince George's County. It's owned outright. It's a tired landlord. They renovated it and then wanted to sell it. It's not selling because I don't know what's the problem. And they now want to, they tried renting it out, which is what it was doing before, the duplex, but it still didn't rent. Then they put it back on the market again.
Mm,
And each time I go back to them, I've offered a lease option, offered a seller finance. He keeps saying that, oh, they just want to be free from it. But I'm like, you want to rent it. That's not free from it.
right.
So I was just curious, what is a good strategy to deal with this? I mean, I love it because it's right next to my church and there's some other non-business thing that I thought I could use it for the church and all of that. So just your thoughts on that.
Yeah. So I think first of all, you need to find out where your challenge lies. Is it the agent or
Mhm.
is it the owner? If it's the agent, and if you're not an agent, go around them because I'm not supposed to say that.
I was curious. I was
But
curious. Can I do that or is it illegal?
if you're not an agent, yes, you can, because it is illegal for agents not to present opportunities to their sellers. And half the time they think they know best, but they are doing them a disservice. And if it was my home or my asset, I would want to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, first of all, figure out and say, hey, have you presented this to your client? Because I know that that is actually a fiduciary duty of yours.
Mhm.
When you get down like that, then it's like, who is this guy? And is he going to tell on me? So figure out if that is the case and say, well, no, my client declined. Have you put anything in writing? Have you sent them a letter of intent, or has it only been conversation?
I did put something in writing, and she just came back and said, "Yeah, my client doesn't want to do it, all of that." But that was now last year, maybe
Oh,
before
yeah.
Thanksgiving.
So
So
here's
it's
the
not
other
going anywhere. I don't know why. And it's a
here's
wonderful renovation.
Here's the other hack. You really just want to build a great relationship with the agent and say, you know
Which I
what,
do.
I really am wanting to help you do more properties, more deals. You have anything else that may fit, a situation like this? And then you'll really be able to see if the agent is the one shutting this down or if it truly is the client, and then you'll know how to move forward from there.
Okay, thank you.
And
Two
if
things that
you
I can
need
mention, and she. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, and if you need help talking to the agent, sometimes it's best when you bring in another agent for credibility because they
Yeah.
think you're a
Okay,
scam.
I
Yeah.
like that.
I
I
was
I
I
like
was
that.
gonna say the same thing, and also Pace was like, guys, you all give up too easy. Sometimes
Yes.
I tell my team certain things that he really wants, they call every week.
When I want something, I'm like this.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
constantly. And
In
then I'm
Williamsburg.
Mhm.
audience time. You said it's been sitting since September. We're now in February.
Exactly,
They wouldn't
exactly.
have a choice but to sell it to you because I would be getting on their nerves so bad. Like, what's
Yeah,
going on
and
now? How's everything going on your end? Still
yeah,
trying to get
Yeah.
that
but
sold?
also the other thing is the motivation may not be that high.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
And if
but
yeah.
without motivation, there is no deal.
no,
It
No,
doesn't
go
matter if they put it on the market. A lot of people love to test the waters,
yeah,
especially investors.
yeah,
So I would make sure it's true motivation.
for sure.
Okay,
Great
thank you.
question, though. And anytime you have an agent in between or needing more information about creative or explanation, we do help with that. But it has to be motivation there first before you bring us in.
And let me
Awesome.
just let me say something about that because this was so eye-opening for me because I'm not an agent. First of all, I was completely shocked that you go through getting your license and they never teach you how to be an investor. What a huge disservice. What a huge disservice.
Ron's like, what can you do?
And then the second thing is that we have talked to agents, and both of my daughters are agents, that first of all have no idea what creative financing is. They automatically assume it's a
The
loan
core.
assumption. Then the second thing is some of them will act like they know what it is and make themselves look like fools. I don't have time for it. So I'm like, okay, now I got to go get my big guns, my daughter, who's a closer, a unicorn agent, and shut you down, right? But I was shocked. So all agents are not created equally. And definitely in this space, they do not know a lot about the creative financing options.
Now,
Period.
let's talk about this piece. When you do convert an agent, that becomes an infinite
Oh
lead
God,
source for
yeah,
you. It's
yeah.
a pipeline opener, guys. So right now you may be discouraged and getting a lot of no's, but what I'm here to tell you is do not stop reaching out to agents. You'll find an agent like me that's like, "Oh my gosh, I have something for you," or "Bring me your deal. I want to buy it." So don't give up because the tables will turn. After month 3 or 4 of reaching out to agents daily, soon it will be inbound leads because now they trust you, they know you, and they're like, here's what I have. This is not market quality to be on the market. If I can sell this before it goes up, I would love to. Also, I'll look like a rock star with my client. I just got this property sold on day one because I know that you're a serious buyer.
Yeah.
So don't just think about like, oh, I'm asking them for something. You're providing this agent an opportunity to be a rock star.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
I want to add something real quick that you said that was really, really good because Jen and I have been using this for a long time. I'm not an agent intentionally. She's a broker. I'm not. I'm a contractor. I talk to everybody. The agent will be there. He'll leave. I'll go talk to him. I don't have any
Fiduciary.
I have no fiduciary responsibilities. I don't represent our brokerage. I'm separate. So I'll get their phone number. I'll call. I did this last week. I'll call them up. I'll talk to the owner. I'll ask them when is the contract over with their broker. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll ask.
Oh,
So
yeah.
and they'll tell me everything. And
Yeah.
and of course I'll tell her they don't, but I'm talking.
Yeah.
And we've got our best deals like that.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's a
Because
good
some of these
team.
agents don't want to work.
They
And
don't.
some of these sellers are like, well, they
They
ain't
don't.
did nothing. So why are we paying them for you coming to me directly?
I usually tell them that. I'm
Better
like,
margins.
if they were doing something, your place would be sold.
Yes.
Right. So
Right.
I'll piggyback on that and going back to what Stacy was saying. And Jael, you've seen this too. We're both in the real estate business as agents. Agents are actually afraid of real estate.
a lot of them are.
They really are. I mean, I've been in it for a long time. I've sat on boards and I've asked the question to other brokers, and they don't own real estate. Like they're not investors. They're afraid of real estate. They want a traditional transaction where they get their commission, where they're paying all these taxes and all this self-employment tax on top of their commission. And when they retire, most of them are broke because they haven't invested. And they don't understand the asset that they're actually selling themselves. It's crazy to me.
Yes.
And you're right, Stacy. It's a disservice to agents that this is not a requirement to be licensed. You should understand real estate as an investor.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
and some of them are in their 70s and
Yeah.
never owned
They
a
can't.
property.
Yeah.
They can't retire because
Yeah.
they have no retirement plan or strategy.
Yeah.
You know, they just
Lean.
yeah, right. Exactly.
We got examples for all of
Auntie,
them.
well, I can tell you stories.
We loved it, guys.
We had a 79-year-old agent that helped us buy property in Georgia, in Atlanta. And she had been, I don't know, she probably been licensed for 50 years and she shouldn't have been still doing it, but she was still doing it at 79 years old.
Because there's no retirement plan. That's what I
79 years
try
old.
to tell agents. You have to become an investor.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
have to.
Exactly.
You already know everything.
Adia too said the agent and the owner have the same last name, so I think that is probably affecting it too. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, we do too, but we still do. Well, we buying company names, so it's a little
This
different.
might be this agent's only listing that their cousin or their aunt gave them. And they're like, only traditional. This is my first sell of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's great info.
Great discussion, y'all.
So I want to, right before we close out, I know we're a little bit over. We like to get you guys out in an hour, but who is feeling confident that if an opportunity falls in their lap, they know what to say? Yes. Yes. I know.
Melissa.
Yeah, Melissa, I've been seeing you smile,
Melissa.
smirk. I've been waiting to call you, and it's two Melissas here.
Hey, no, I'm working with my daughter on something.
Oh, no,
so I'm here. I'm here.
No,
Yeah,
we know
you're
Melissa.
here. No, we
It's
have
another
Melissa.
Melissa.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I take my
We know
comment back.
you are Melissa Irvin. Melissa Duncan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Say something to us.
Say something. I'm really enjoying this. This is really awesome. And I really like how Jael, am I saying Jael?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked how she started going into the questions like a doctor, being able to figure out, the answers. So I'm really excited for when she lays out the questions so I can, I feel like that's a really good way to learn. So
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, but I don't feel confident yet, obviously, that if I heard the questions, then I'm gonna know how to answer them because
And that's the part where I want you to feel empowered that when you get off this Zoom, you know that if someone has a problem or an opportunity, you can hand it off, but also stay involved and be able to earn while you learn. So when someone has a a problem or a question for me that I don't know the answer to, here's my response. That's a great question. Let me introduce you to such and such and such and such, or let me go get that information and bring it back to you. There is no fault in not knowing the answer.
Mm-mm.
It's about how you position yourself.
Mhm.
Great question. You complimented them. You
Mhm.
gave them that I will get that information for you, and then you move to the next question.
Mhm.
Nothing happens. I guarantee you're gonna be amazed. They're gonna be like, okay, and then they're gonna answer your next question.
Mhm.
But here's the caveat. Make sure you go get that answer. You do your due diligence and you bring it back to that person and you present it in a way and say, hey, remember you asked me that. Here's the information that I found for you. Guess what else that does? It gives you another opportunity to talk to this person again and build rapport.
Mhm.
So if
Mhm.
you end up in a conversation and you don't know what to ask yet, tell me more about that. Girl, I can get them to talk for a whole nother 30 minutes to an hour. I'm not saying anything. I'm just listening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? That's another great question.
Yeah.
Why is that? Always sound curious.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
That's the
That's great
trick.
advice.
Yeah.
That's the trick,
And
Melissa.
be confident for sure. Yeah.
Right.
And we're here to help. So if you find someone they need help, you just, facilitate that introduction and you stay involved because people feel safe with people that they know and trust. And that's your way in.
So I have a
This is.
question.
Mhm.
Sometimes you ask the questions, you already know the answer, but as you said, listen, 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 because you can pick up some other stuff. And when you ask the question, don't answer it for them. Listen. Listen, let them do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true, Carol. And we got to remember too, this is a relationship business. Build rapport, build relationships, and you will find that on the other end, you'll win.
It's just a regular person. They want the human touch. They
Yeah,
want to know that the other person cares. They don't care what you know or how much you know. They want to know, can I trust you? And can you help me?
yeah,
And yes, you can help them because you know people that can. So
yeah.
that was the identity shift,
That's it.
that imposter syndrome that we all have to work through.
Yes,
I was saying I knew what to do before I did because I knew that I was part of sub two community. I
yes.
knew that I had people that had already done it and that I could find the person, the who that could help me do it. So that means that you can too.
I leveraged sub two and pace like nobody's business.
Oh, we did it
Oh,
everywhere we went.
listen,
We hadn't even met Pace yet.
no, we in every state. Okay? We are 30,000 deep. Yeah, I'm
Yep.
telling people are like, oh my God, for real? Because
Then everything we were saying became true for us.
yes,
So it's funny that you have to identify as something before
yeah,
you are that. And until you step into the identity, it will never be your true
That's
identity.
right.
you have to
Okay, now
see
you're talking some stuff now. Come on now.
Yep, that's right.
It's a mindset shift
It's,
because
right.
I
yes,
struggled. And that's
That's
what
right.
got me onto YouTube. And Pace was like, nope, you need to teach what you know because Melissa,
yes.
somebody knows less than you that need your help.
That's
That's right.
right. That's right.
That's right.
Wow, that's so good.
Yep. That's good.
all right, we have gone over and we apologize,
Okay.
but you guys were the best.
No apologies.
Y'all were awesome. This group right here, this crew.
Yeah.
We
Um,
did.
I want to just tell you guys a couple of things because I want you guys to be in alignment with us. We are adamant about normalizing this conversation around creative financing, and we want to partner and help you guys do the same thing. We're going to have this Zoom the first Monday of every month at 7:30, same time, same Zoom link. Please invite other people to come. That would, help us tremendously because we want to educate as many people as possible. Also, Jael hosts a Zoom every Wednesday at 7:30. It's Wealth Builder Wednesdays. And she talks about a number of topics, but again, it's still around creative financing as well. And then we're going to have our in-person meetup, which is going to be the last Thursday of the month. We're still working on the location,
We'll
but
be
it's going to
going.
be in the Alexandria Arlington area, but we're also going to go to the other regions and support them as well. But if you need guidance or want to work directly with us as Eminent Estates and have access to our resources, please fill out an application. I think Jael is going to put the link there so that we can get back to you and get your information. We're in the business of helping people win because it's enough for everybody.
Mhm.
And as long as you are consistent and persistent, trust me, you can accomplish anything that you want to. Now, I will
Mhm.
say this one thing because some of you like to work alone. You can't do this
That was
business
me.
alone. You won't succeed alone.
Mhm.
Pace talks about it all the time. I'm so grateful for the community that we have, but you cannot do it alone. It's so much better when you have like-minded individuals.
Yep.
Same mindset on the same path. You would be surprised. Some of our biggest wins have been because we JV with people. We built relationships. And so that's the same thing that we want to do with you all and provide you as much value. Now, the bigger community that some of us are in, it's a big community, but some people get lost. And you
Yeah.
need something a little smaller, a little more intimate, where we can be in a safe place and ask questions and help each other.
Mhm.
So that's what we're definitely going to provide here.
And we have great resources. Our team members, Sakura, who's our operations manager, and Tevin, who does all things consulting for people on our team and in our community. So, guys, again, we don't do this alone. Never will I go back to doing things alone because I ain't make no money.
Yeah.
I try
And
to
the
Yeah.
time that
warn
it
her.
takes you to get the first check, you've lost more than you earned.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I tried to warn her, guys. All right, we're going to say good night and thank you very much,
All right.
and we will see you soon.
Love
All right.
y'all. Take
See
Thank
you.
care,
you.
See y'all
guys.
soon.
All
Good
Thanks
right,
a
night.
lot.
thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.